Toe, toe, toe. 5 brown field lizards became 5 tall footmen. Toe, toe, toe. A plump Manikou was changed to a coachman. Then I tapped Cendrillon. Her poor calico dress was changed to a trailing gown of sky-blue velvet. Upon her head sat a turban just as blue, pinned with a tremblant pin of gold. She had a silk shoulder scarf of pale rose, rings in her ears, bracelets, and a necklace of 4 strands of gold beads, bigger than peas. Upon her feet were elegant pink slippers embroidered with roses. It was enough to hurt my eyes to look at my darling. Finally, I turned my washerwoman's shift into a fine red dress. I would chaperone Cendrillon as suited a proper young lady. Away we went over the bridge, through the town, along the shore, to the Grande Maison of Monsieur Thibault. Just before we stepped down from our carriage, I warned Cendrillon. The magic lasts only a short time. We must leave before the midnight bell is rung. Yes, Nonin, she promised. What a grand entrance Cendrillon made. All eyes turned toward her and could not turn away. I heard whispers all around. Who is that pretty girl? Look how fine her clothes are. Did she come from France? Even Cendrillon's stepmother and sister did not recognize the 2 of us, though they peered crossly at us. Then Paul, his eyes blazing with love, asked her to dance. And he refused to dance with any other. I know. I watched as I ate. Oh, what fine food I helped myself to as I watched the handsome couple. Even chocolate sherbet. Cendrillon was so happy, and I was happy seeing her so, that we forgot to mark the time. Suddenly, I heard distant bells strike the first chime of midnight. Astonishing all with my rudeness, I grabbed Cendrillon's hand and cried, "It is nearly midnight. We must go." For a moment I feared she would not obey. Then she turned, and we ran toward the door. Paul cried, "Wait! I do not even know your name." He ran after us, but guests and servants, confused by such running and shouting, blocked his way. As it was, we barely escaped to our carriage because Cendrillon stumbled on the stair. She had to leave behind 1 embroidered slipper. Off we sped into the night as I counted the chimes, and the moment I heard the 12th stroke, we found ourselves in the dusty road beside a smashed breadfruit. Around us, agoutis and lizards and a fat Manikou scurried into the brush. We walked home like 2 ragged washerwomen. Our fine clothes were gone, all except Cendrillon's 1 pink slipper. She took it off, saying, "I will keep this to remind me of this wonderful night and a happiness I will never know again." "But," I said, "I will help you visit Paul again." She shook her head. "I see now that it was not Cendrillon he fell in love with," she said. "He was under the spell of your wand. When the magic goes, the love, too, will fade from his eyes." "Alas," I said, "my plans have come to nothing. I cannot give you the gift of a love that would change your life for true." "Dear godmother," she said, kissing my cheek, "you gave me this night. It is enough." I did not see Cendrillon at the river the next day. When I called at the house, I found she was in bed. Madame and Vitaline said she was being lazy, but I saw she was sick with a broken heart. I stroked her brow for a good long time until I heard a great commotion. When I looked for the cause, I found that Paul had arrived. He was followed by a footman carrying Cendrillon's lost pink slipper on a satin pillow. To Madame and Vitaline, he explained, "I am searching for the lovely stranger who was at the fête last night. This is her slipper. I am asking all unmarried young women on the island to try it on. I will wed the one whose foot it fits." From the doorway I heard Madame say, "My pretty daughter is the only unmarried girl in the house." Then Vitaline and her mamma tried to force the girl's big foot with toes like sausages into the slipper. Such grunting and groaning you never heard. So eager were they, I feared they would destroy the slipper. If you cut off those big toes, I called out, it would be a fine fit. Madame screeched, "Go away, old woman!" And I did. Straight back to Cendrillon's room I marched. "Now, child, if you love me," I charged her, "do this one thing for me. Go out into the hall." She drew a shawl around her cotton shift. Barefoot, she went into the hall, where panting Madame and sobbing Vitaline had given up the battle of the slipper. But just as Paul was turning to go, I tapped Cendrillon, toe, 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 with my wand. To the astonishment of all, she appeared as she had at the ball. "No, godmother dear," she said, "no more spells." With a sigh, I touched her again, and she was as before, in her shift and shawl. Without hesitation, Paul knelt before her. Gently he placed the slipper on her foot. Then he said, "You are as beautiful this minute as you were last night." And everyone in the room could see the true love in his eyes. Cendrillon and Paul were married soon after this. Even the King and Queen of France never had such a wedding. The guests ate and danced and sang and ate again for 3 days. I know because I was there. I danced the guoca and ate 9 helpings of chocolate sherbet and came away only to tell you this tale.